So I want Lorenzo Hunt, simple as that. I think I'll knock him out. I think I'll knock them all out. At £185, I'm going to catch you clean. You're going down. If Mike Perry's watching this, I'll lay you flat.
Yeah. I mean, where the fuck should I really even start? I got hoes that I'm keeping in the dark. I got my niggas cross the street living large. Thinking back to the fact that they dead. Thought my raps wasn't facts till they sat with the bars.
I can't remember if it was the first or second podcast that you got shot. And since you said that, I regretted not asking what happened in that situation.
See that bender, I was just like,
yeah,
mate,
don't care, do you?
I didn't care what that money was for. It was just
tokens.
It was just tokens to get blitzed.
Would you like to do that? Get up at 5 a.m. and just fucking have a tear down straight away?
Absolutely not.
I won't recommend it to anyone, you know what I mean? Nah. I've opened the door before he was there, and he's like, yeah. And I was like, aye, sound, mate. Closed the door, and I was like, he's one of them. No.
I mean, before I settled my girlfriend down, I was like, I was doing.
Tell him the fucking truth. Tell him the truth. What you do.
I'm now thinking in my head, right? There's going to be people coming round now. It's like a duality. There's like the side of us that loves chaos, carnage, casual sex, cocaine, fighting in the street, violence. Just wants to be aggressive and obnoxious and ignorant, and everything that makes up a bad person, a dangerous person. And there's that other side of us. What I love. The side of us that I'm more in touch with than I've ever been. All right, I lost my way a bit and shit happens, but it's coming back.
I'm going to get your personal opinion on this because me and him have been back and forth a little bit on sort of direction of this show. I'll watch all your content. Right. And you fell out of love with YouTube and probably the scene, and just I want you to dissect that a little bit for me, because just for some context, how we've been feeling is. The reason why I got into podcasting is I want to sit across with people who've got stories and you can talk at length and dissect stuff. And this isn't a dig at, it just seems to be where this Fully Game show went. We were leaning into more things that didn't interest me and speaking on topics that, I don't know, it just didn't sit well, did it? And we're not had a fucking fallout this week, have we? But it sort of come to an end of why we started doing this podcasting, who we should be getting on, what we want to talk about. Just, I want you to discuss, if you can, be critical. I'm not too sure if you watch any of our stuff, but just more, why did you fall out with YouTube? Were you just getting lost in that sort of fucking ego battle?
Fell out my way with it. I started my channel because I got in recovery for the first time ever. I'll speak about it on here. For the first time ever in a long, long time, I started slowly but surely becoming that person that I wanted to be. Started being all the fucking things I never was. Started being polite and all that stuff. Do you know what I mean? All the stuff that we want to be. Kind, courteous, caring, compassionate. All that stuff. Do you know what I mean? A better dad. Everything. And I thought, right, recovery's give me this. So I'm going to start my channel as like recovery based. Follow my journey of recovery, because that's where my passion is, man. And I got out my way with it. More so towards the last 3 months, I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't in the gym. I wasn't doing my morning routine. I wasn't going to meetings. I had no connection with higher power. I lost my conscious contact with God. Do you know what I mean? It went. So then what happens? This takes over. You start, like, who's he talking to? Who's that idiot talking about? Do you know what I mean? That come back in because I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. And before you know it, I lost my way with it. Replying to people who I would like slap into the middle of next week. Do you know what I mean? Giving them my time, giving them my energy. Not only that, not just on the camera when I was doing it. It's chewing my head in. You know what I mean? I'm sitting with my bird and maybe chilling out, and I'm thinking about hurting this person. And that's not right, man. Do you know what I mean? It's not. You're letting other people control how you feel, and that's what I do. You know what I mean? That's what happens with me. I get out my way with stuff. That old thing comes back. That fucking desire to hurt people and that. I'm thinking, I'll just, whatever. I'll see him in his front garden when he's going to work or something, jump out a bush and cosh his head in.
Is that just a gradual slip away from you?
Yeah. Bits and bits comes bit by bit. First you start replying and responding, starts up here, then it ends up coming in, spilling over into your actions and behaviours. I just want to speak about this as well, because once that starts with me, like, it's hard to get out of it. You can't just wake up in the morning and be who you want to be. Do you know what I mean? It takes practice, doesn't it? You know what I mean? You've got to learn how to, or try and get into, your meditating, your prayers, this time to yourself. See, in the morning, the best thing I can do is just sit in silence on my own. Just sit in silence on my own for 5 minutes. before I even look at my phone. Because if I wake up in the morning and I look at my phone, I forgot about myself. That's why I've stopped watching other people's content. Because I'm not interested. I'm probably not ready for it, truth be told.
Do you feel, sorry to interrupt, do you feel that these are subjects I think about, just the state, we mentioned a little bit on last pod, the state of society, just what seems to be spotlighted, degeneracy, all this stuff. Do you feel we're moving away from sort of these traditional values and this personal development side of it all?
Definitely. You know, and listen, I'm a fuck up and I'm troubled and I'm not anyone's ideal person. But sometimes I just look at these content creators and I feel fucking planets apart from them. You know what I mean? Planets apart. I think, like, especially these anonymous types, you know, like, I don't think you can get anything more cowardly, you know, than like going after someone's character or past or trying to remind them of who they used to be from like a fake account. You know what I mean? That's a rat, mate. Simple as that.
Lowest of the low, that, innit?
And listen, obviously, I know it says more about them than it does about me. I'm aware of that. But I'm a person, mate. It hurts my feelings sometimes, you know? And the further I'm away from recovery and I haven't got that deep connection and my recovery's not strong, all that side of us just comes to light. That side of us that I don't like anymore.
You know that nasty side inside you then? Like, let me try and understand that. If that's always there and you're having to do these certain steps to be the man you want now, does that come from childhood? Where's that anger coming from? Where's that almost rage there to, like, what is that?
I think it's just probably like my programming, my paradigm. You know, I lived like that for 20 years in hostile environments, putting myself at the forefront of trouble. You know what I mean? I loved chaos, carnage. I loved that stuff. It was all I knew for so long. Do you know what I mean? All that macho stuff that went with it. Fight anyone, meet anyone. All that stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's bullshit, man. You know what I mean? Just nothing but hold you back, grind you down, cost you your liberty, cost you peace. Trying my best to keep that side of us. It's like there's two sides of us. That side that wants to be the best person I can be, that's only been really unveiled in recovery. Wanted to be that person for years, just didn't know how until I found recovery. All them people with experience and all that stuff surrounding myself, and it worked. It worked. It was definitely working. I could feel it bit by bit. I was feeling good. But that side of us will like probably never go away. You know, it's always going to be there. But the way to keep it at bay is doing the right things. I get my head into arguing with some tosser who couldn't walk a mile in my shoes. That's bothering me. It's like you're doing what they want. They're getting the desired effect. It's like you're going to turn up at the door. You don't know who they are. So, you know, it's like, as hard as it is, you know, just ignoring them in the silence is the best. And I'm not even ready for looking at it at the minute. That's why I haven't watched anyone's content. You know, I'm not ready. But I'll be back. You know, I haven't come this far with my channel and my journey to be discouraged by some spineless bastards. You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen.
Dissect. So you beat Anthony Holmes. How many weeks ago was that?
You tell me, mate. Three and a bit months.
3 months, maybe 90 days. When did it start? You've got that high there. You've done the mission. You've fucking done the task at hand. You've won. When does it? What mindset are you in a week after that? When do you see it sort of like slipping away a little bit from you there?
Probably started slipping away before I noticed it. Start making bad decisions before you know it, because I'm out of the gym. I'm just doing, like I say, I'm not doing the things that I should be doing. Ego takes over, man. You know what I mean? That ego comes in. Thinking I'm bigger than the program. Thinking I'm bigger and I'm better than I actually am. You know what I mean? And forgetting the things that make us feel good, training. Nothing makes me feel better than training. My morning routine, it's gold for me. You know what I mean? That's how it's done. That's the only way I'm ever going to keep on top of that side of us. When I'm not doing it, what happens? You know, bit by bit, that side, you start running on your character defects. Before you know it, you've made that many bad decisions. This other side of us has just completely took over. That lack of care and concern for things comes in. You know what I mean? Other people that I should be cared about.
Yeah.
Just gets fucked
I
off.
get like that.
It's all about me then.
I almost get like, I can't even begin to explain it. I probably felt like this for a couple of weeks, that you lose your way, which is probably a fair point. You lose yourself, but then I don't know if it's that I've got older or just a bit more comfortable. I find it hard to get that fucking rhythm back then. Yeah. I'm a rhythm person, me. I need to be in a fucking positive, like, I found it sometimes tougher to break myself out of that. Then you just become.
course it is.
I become almost complacent.
Well, it is complacent. Complacency sets in before that feeling
Yeah.
comes because you're not doing what you should be. It's the consistency what keeps you right. I didn't feel like going to the gym this morning. I couldn't be asked. Woke up, slung one in her, tired. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck, can't be arsed. It's like when you shot your bolt. Like, fuck, I just have another hour. She's like, no, come on, go down, we'll do something and that. Fucking 20 minutes, went through the motions, come out, felt fucking boss. You know what I mean? It's doing the things that you know right. You know, like sometimes you just got to, like, you got to put your feelings to a side. You know, I don't want to go and train all the time. I don't want to go to meetings all the time. But I know if I do them, I'm going to reap the benefit. I've never been to a meeting in my life that I haven't got a benefit from. You know, and I've been in there sometimes thinking, looking for the differences instead of the similarities, thinking that's a tosser over there. No, you're in recovery, mate. The lad's trying to better himself.
Yeah.
I shouldn't even be thinking like that, but I do. But by the end of the meeting, I've come away and I've thought, yeah, good.
Are you scheduling your day, or you've got it in your head what you need to do?
I write down what I want to do every day, and I'll do it at some point or another.
Is that like a task list then, just like
Sort of, yeah.
gym, bang, cold plunge, whatever
Yeah,
you're doing?
today. Well, I write half the stuff. I write half my routine down before I even do it. It's the first thing I do when I open my eyes. I'm like, right, today I'll train, today I'll meditate, today I'll pray, today I'll read my just for today I'll connect with another addict, today I'll go in the cold. So I get half of that out of the way before I even leave the house. And if there's any stuff I've been putting off or whatever, I'll get onto that as well. I've been doing a tip run for the last fucking 4 days, still looking at it. You know, but I'll get through 90% of that list every day. And guess what? If I didn't write anything down, I wouldn't do fuck all.
I'm saying.
Because like something about, I broke that many promises to that many people over years. See now, when I make a promise to myself, I'll keep it. Maybe takes a day or two, but I'll keep it.
Do you feel like there when you're not, that's how I feel, when you're not doing that to-do list and you think, I box this off, I can do this, you can run an autopilot, you can't, can you?
No, I can't. I can't. That's why I need my sponsor. That's why I need meetings. I need people with experience. Because when I run on self-will, and it just becomes all about me. And it's dangerous, mate. I'm fucking dangerous. I'm a very, very dangerous person. I've got a massive capacity for like violence, aggression, you know, and I don't like it.
Do you know when you're on that positive trajectory? Because last time you were on podcast, you were like super focused in, your life had changed, you're a man of God and everything was positive. You know, when you've got it to a point and you're cruising and you're nice and you're that person that you've always wanted to be, do you ever get the feeling that you don't deserve to be that person? You need to go back to being how you used to be?
To a certain degree, you know, I can get like a low self-worth. You know, I can get a low self-worth. But like, you know, I've got to constantly remind myself. I write it down, you know, like how far I've come. I've got to sit there in my mind and remember like prison, all the shit. You know, I've got to remember that. I've got to remember like, is that what you want? You know what I mean? Some of the darkest times in my life, like, you know what I mean? And that's what I've got to remember. Because if I'm left to my own devices, mate, that's exactly where I'm going. It's like that bender I went on. I'm a bit, I wouldn't say greedy, but I keep the money in me. You know what I mean? I'm one of them now. Mm-hmm. I keep the money in. I know where every pound is. See, that bender, I was just like...
Yeah, you don't care, do you?
I didn't care what that money was for. It was just...
Tokens.
It was just tokens to get blitzed. You know, and you're not buying grams and that, you're buying quarters. And it was fucking... Just didn't give a fuck, mate. No, that's what happens. And it's me. It's not fucking, it's not my past, it's not recovery, I can't blame anything, it's me. Left to my own devices, it's me. I could fuck up a cup of coffee. You know, I'm my own worst enemy, man.
What was going through your mind leading up to that bender? Was it like you just said earlier, you knew it was going to come? You knew because your stuff was starting to fall apart. When you sort of found yourself approaching that bender, like, what thoughts are running through your mind? Do you know you're going to regret it? Are you looking forward to it?
Well, listen. Are we recording here?
Yeah.
Listen. Right. I went on it that first night, right? You know, and I have to be honest, I'm not promoting using at all. That first night I went on it in Dublin, it was fucking class. I loved it. Wasn't like any kind of bad feeling at all. It was like fucking brilliant. I had that first shot of whiskey, then it was like, give me more, double, treble, give me the bottle. And it's literally that quick. Within half an hour, sat with a bottle. And like, the first one I went, the cocaine bell went off immediately. So I'm plotting and scheming now. So I knew I couldn't ring the lads that I know in Dublin because they all know I'm in recovery. They wouldn't give me fuck all. So I got palling onto these lads from Nottingham. So I was like, they were asking for some. They got ripped off at the concert the night before. So I was like, I'm your man. You know what I mean? Ed switched right onto it. I'm your man. And they wanted an eighth. I think they gave like €180 or something for it. So I said, I rung up and they said it was €180. It's not for you, is it, Danny? I was like, no. 180. So I went back to him and said 230. Just Ed switched on already, chuck him €50 out of him. And it come, I met a lad on an electric scooter on the front. It come, and I just went into the bog and just whacked it in half. Done the old trick, spread it about the bag a bit, retied the knot. There you go. So I'm, whatever, 1.7 or something in my pocket.
And 50 quid up.
And 50 quid up. And that was it, mate. Boom. And I woke up and I was like, that was class. I'm not even an addict anymore. You know what I mean? I'm not even an addict. I can manage my using. All that stuff going through my head, like, am I even an addict? I think I maybe just got into recovery because I wanted some clean friends. All that shite going through my head. Went back to Belfast the next day, shot home, had the little car in the airport, got off the plane, all I could think about was using. Because I wasn't going to stop until I'd been to that place, until I got myself in that dark, deep, depressed hole. I wasn't going to stop. No way. And I just realised it when I got off the plane.
It's almost like you're punishing yourself, isn't it?
It's almost like self-harm, yeah. But as well, it's like, how can I put it? I don't think I wanted to go back to the rooms after that. Because I thought that after that first night, I thought using was okay. So I needed to do that to get myself back in recovery. Does that make any sense? I needed to put myself in that place. And what happened? I got home, got an eighth, got a bottle of whiskey, 2 bottles of Buckfast, sat in the house, took us maybe, less than 2 days, 40 hours, and I was there. I was right back in that place. So what did I do? What I shouldn't do? Started looking online, my phone out, started reading whatever these folk are saying, you know what I mean? And I'm like, right. Made that mad video where I couldn't even remember half the stuff I said, but I could remember inviting people around to my house. So now my head's like, I've uploaded it, bad idea. Just a string of bad decisions.
How many people are texting you once you've put that video on?
Well, my phone was going cuckoo. But I'm now thinking in my head, right, there's going to be people coming round now.
Bit of paranoia creeps in.
Almost, but like an excitement as well. You know what I mean? Thinking like, I'm like stretching off and that. Thinking like
front window cracking.
Yeah, I had like the curtains a little crack, and I've got I can hear the gate. You see, I can hear the gate like creak or whatever, makes it like a screech. So I'm like really thinking like people are going to be coming round now. No one's going to come round to mine. You know what I mean? But I'm convinced at this point.
Yeah.
Talking to Alice about it.
It's mad shit that.
I'm saying like. I'm 100% convinced. The postman come about the next day. And I've heard it. I've opened the door before he was there. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, aye, sound, mate. Closed the door and I was like, he's one of them. You know what I mean? I was like, he's one of them. Following him down the street and that. Oh. Ed just west.
Wow, man.
So I kept going. And like I say, I probably had a bit of a deep thought in between. I don't know if it was asleep or whatever, but kept going, kept getting more, kept whatever. And in the end, I was just fucking broken, man. Absolutely broken. Sat on my own. Right where I left off. Right where I was before I got into recovery. Crying my eyes out, man. On my own.
Do you think part of you likes that rebuild, or is it just complete self-sabotage? Do you think part of you, when you're at that bottom there, that low, do you think part of you likes that climb back to the top?
You see, looking back now, I wouldn't recommend a relapse to anybody because it's incredibly painful. But, I needed it. There's a lot better ways of resetting your recovery than doing that. Started building up the consistency, what we're talking about. Should have got back in the meeting, should have got on the phone to my sponsor, all that stuff. Prayers, meditation, gratitude, just for today. Meetings, going to meetings. Meetings are where it's at for me. Now, that was a massive reminder for me of just how quickly my life can turn to shit. I should have knew before, but like I said, I didn't. That ego took over. I thought I was bigger than the program. I thought I was bigger than everything, but still had a low self-worth. You know what I mean? It's a funny thing how that ego works. You know, like you think you're better. You're not. And see, like I can make a series of bad decisions, whether I'm clean, whether I'm recovery or not. Before long, I'll get onto him. If my head's in the right bit, I'll get onto him. I'll be like, whoa, you fucked up there, Danny boy. You know what I mean? Try and put that right. Or when you're wrong, promptly admit it. When I said I didn't want to be with Alice, that should have been enough for me to realise what on earth are you doing? I love that woman. I've loved that woman for 12 years. I never want to be without her. Do you know what I mean? I don't. I could be with that woman for the rest of my days. See, if I could write down, or anybody could write down 10 things what you want out of a woman, she's that and much more. She's supported us through everything I've ever done. And we've been on this journey together. You know what I mean? She's had one drink in 14 months. She's in recovery as well. And it's... at that point, I should have realised. A few days later, I did realise, but that stubborn side of us had kicked in. I knew what I was doing was wrong. I knew how it was going to end up. I knew where I was going to end up. And like I say, I had that first drink over there, and that was it. That was like made things even worse because I thought it was cushy. I'd have probably been better off going pedal to the metal flat out. Probably got out my system in about 3 days. And instead it took 6. And these things happen. You know, it is what it is. It's been a reminder. And now since I've got back, that first week afterwards was shit. You know, I was depressed, man. But I got back into the groove. I knew what I needed to do, so I started doing it. Took us, a couple of weeks, 20 days. I started feeling great. Because it's a funny thing. See, when I first got into recovery, it was mint. Because you're starting to get this image of this, you know, you're starting to get this direction where you're going with you know, one day at a time, clean time, living in the moment, all that stuff, all the suggested things that makes you feel good, that nothing had ever done before. But then they call it the pink fluffy cloud, you know what I mean? That's what it's like. But you fall off it. You know, I think people get this thing that you're in recovery, you're no longer using. You know, you're no longer in that chaos and carnage, right? But you're left with this, mate. You're left with this thing, what's run the show for so long. And it's like a duality in me. There's like a duality. There's like the side of us that loves chaos, carnage, casual sex, cocaine, fighting in the street, violence, just wants to be aggressive and obnoxious and ignorant and everything that makes up a bad person, a dangerous person. And there's another side of us, what I love, the side of us that I'm more in touch with than I've ever been. All right, I lost my way a bit and shit happens, but, you know, like it's coming back. And I'm onto it. You know what I mean? I'm onto it. It was like a reminder of how not to fucking do things. And I feel incredibly lucky and blessed and grateful, you know, that I got through it. Because, you know, I'm a fucking addict, man. I don't use like a normal person. You know, I look at people having a few beers. Ha ha ha. Sat with the fucking mates, buzzing and that, going home for a Sunday dinner and that. As soon as that stuff touches my lips, mate, I am gone. And I will not stop until I'm either left in a heap on my own crying, or I'm in jail, or I'm locked up, or something bad's going to happen. And like I say, it was what it was. I don't feel the least bit bad about it. You know, I don't feel the least bit bad about it. Today, here and now, you know, I'm blessed, I'm grateful. I come out of it. I've learned a lesson. And, you know, it's back on the wagon. Listen, I've come a long way. And I'm not going to be defined by one relapse. But, you know, I'm not well. I'm definitely not a well person. I don't know what's inside your head or anyone else's, but I'm a very dysfunctional person. You know what I mean? And if I don't keep on top of things, man, shit just surfaces and bad things happen.
I do see some similarities. They're probably not nowhere near as aggressive as you, but I have that tendency to think once you've taken cocaine or drugs like that, it's always in you. It is always in me anyway. So I just have to be super cautious of. It's almost like now I've got responsibilities as well, so I have to honour them. And if I fall off, I'm not falling off to the level of you, but it's this that damages for me. It's I'm like it knocks me confidence in myself.
Yeah.
Because I can't. It's almost like I'm not keeping a promise to myself, and only you know that.
Yeah.
I feel that in my head. You know, like even basic things. If you write a to-do list and don't do it, no one else gives a fuck. Well, you know you've not done what you should do.
Yeah.
So it's almost there. I've got to sort of keep myself to. It's a higher standard, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you've always got that ability to be reckless, for me, it's trying to find a way to where do I funnel that into. It must be tough for you that when you're fighting on these big shows and doing these, you know, these massive things where everyone's watching you, to then move away from that. It's where are you going to put that fucking built up energy and whatever you describe it as aggression or whatever it might be. It's like someone of your energy and level needs to find a fucking.
Mate, you've got to channel it somewhere.
Yeah.
I have to channel it somewhere, and that's probably why I feel so good at the minute. Back in the gym for a week, you know, I hadn't looked at the gym for 3 months. So this, whatever it is, you know, it builds up, man. You know what I mean? It builds up. It's like I don't know, like a volcano or something waiting to go off, like someone, I don't know, pulling a pin on a fucking hand grenade, and you don't know the time, you don't know when it's gonna go off. You know, but it'll go off. If I'm not in the gym and I'm not in the rooms of recovery, and that my life's gonna fuck up. I cannot run on self-will. If I'm running on self-will, if I'm making the decisions, you know, and I think I know what's best. Listen, a person who does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, is a very dangerous person.
Have you got any close friends around you who you explain to them, I'm going to go late here? Or do you have anyone who can sort of, who you respect, who can pull you back? Or is there no one like that?
Yeah, I've got a few, yeah. My ex-brother-in-law, who I love to bits, he's on a life support machine at the minute. And we're going to have to see how it goes with him. And my sponsor, and Paul Venice. Big shout out to Paul Venice. I absolutely love that man to bits. I've met a lot of people, come across so many people everywhere I've ever been. A lot of mates. You know, I've got a few good friends. I've never identified with anybody as much in my entire life than I have, with that man. I love him to bits.
And what just similarities? Just same beliefs? What is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of things. You know, we're the same but different. It's a funny thing. It's like a chemistry. You know, it's just a connection I've got with him. When I first met him, when I went down to have that fight in Manchester, some of the stuff he told us on the way down, the conversation on the way down between me and him was better than anything that come off that fight. It was better than anything. It was God-given conversation. I told him that where I was, with what I believed, what I didn't. Told him so much. And he said so much that he said, listen, you're going to, believe me, you get stuck on this social media, you're going to carry a message, you know, like you can talk, you know, start fighting, you're going to be big in the fighting game. I told him, if this fight goes all right, I said, maybe have a crack at this bare knuckle. And then just the contract has landed on my lap 3 or 4 months later. And there's that much stuff that he said and we speak about it all the time on the phone and laugh out like some of the stuff we talked about, like coming to fruition. And he's got his own troubles, you know, and he's I just identify with him so much. He's got that side to him as well. I think he's a bit better at, you know, keeping it in control than me, but he's got a lot more experience. Paul's been in the rooms for, 15 plus years, you know, in recovery. And he speaks the language of recovery, you know, and I like that. You know, he talks sense and he understands me and that side of us. And, you know, I just love the man to bits.
To dissect that, there, I know we mentioned on the last pod, your granddad. I don't know too much about your relationship with your actual dad. Mm-hmm. Do you feel, I know I feel like this, that I've never had a male role model who I could look to, respect, who spoke belief into me and you know, standards, morals. My granddad was that, but he was a busy man.
Yeah.
He's got his own family and whatnot. Do you feel like you miss out on that a little bit? Is that a fair, someone who could sort of harness you, this is the way to do it? Because for
not a doubt in my mind. Yeah. 110%.
I think men need that as well, mate, especially growing up.
I didn't have anybody like that. You know, I could go to my granddad's and I would always be on my best behaviour around him. But my mum was different. You know, my mum, listen, my mum's been clean 35 years or something. You know, I mean, my mum's, she's got a good message herself. But, you know, things weren't, the best growing up, we'll say that. And I was just, from a young age, I was never ever scared of disappointing her. Didn't matter what trouble I got in, consequences, going home to get what off my mum, a slipper or whatever.
Yeah, no fear of her.
No, she started laying into us a bit when I was older, but like rightly so. You know, she broke my nose, first person to break my nose. But I deserved it, man. I was off the chain, man. I was just a fucking handful. But like I say, I never had that father figure. I never had someone, you know. I think what's important is, of course, a dad should be loving and caring and should protect and provide, obviously. But you've got to fear your old man. You know, I think you've got to have that bit of fear around your own man, especially as a kid. Well, I never had none of that. You know, and look where I ended up. Look what happened to us. You know, I never had anybody to rein us in. Once you get mixed in with all them people and that, once you get mixed in with all these like-minded people, you're just a wild bunch. You know, and that's what I was. But you're right in that. You know, I think people need that father figure, for lack of a better phrase. You know, you need it. It's essential. You know, look, I mean, it's proven, like, single-parent families, single-parent children, they're nowhere near as stable.
Suicide rates higher, drug use is higher, all these negative...
They're nowhere near the same level of success. You know, and it just comes down to that stability. You know, you shouldn't be left to your own devices at 11-year-old. You know, what's going to happen?
Did you crave that like me? I've always craved a mentor, man. And they come into your life sometimes, but I feel, especially what happened to me as a kid, you've also got that abandonment thing, like...
Yeah.
I always feel they're going to fuck off anyway, so you never fully open up to them. And I think as a man, if you don't have anyone you can fully open up to and be real, it's tough. I've always felt that. And then I think then you build this, just from listening to what you said, you build this sort of, not character, but I especially shell up, if that makes sense. Then you I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's just to not have that fucking North Star of someone who you can respect and trust.
100%.
You become someone who you probably weren't destined to be anyway.
Of course you do. And, you know, and I was looking for it in all the wrong places. I was looking for that guiding figure in all the wrong places, knocking about with all the lads. You know, especially when I got to like 16, 17, and I started to get like, I found my balls, started to get proper game. You know, the older lot loved me. You know, and I was
St.
like,
Christian.
yeah, type of thing. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, just like, you know, you feel like you're getting tucked under someone's wing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's all bullshit. You know, none of them wanted what was best for us. Not bad people, but all they knew was that life, street life. That you know what I'm talking about: drugs, drink, women, all that stuff. You know, they don't know what's best for you, and they didn't have my best interests at heart. But what do you do as a kid? You know, you look up to these people. You think they're cushy because they're turning over a few notes and they've got all the flashes to gear and that, and they start cutting you in, and you think, yeah, this is what I want here. Bullshit, a lot of it.
Yeah. Then you want to impress them as well, and then by impressing them, especially with that group, you turn to doing what they're doing, or you want to jump, let me fight this kid, and you boys sit back.
100%. Or you're going above and beyond what you would normally do to impress people. You know, so you strain away from your own character.
What age were you when you actually realised you're getting a bit too much in shit?
Oh, I ran away with us for years before. Listen, I probably spoke about it, you know, you probably heard us say about it. I never had a clue my life had run away with us until the first time I was in prison at 34, just. That was the only time I'd ever looked at myself. Never ever reflected on anything. Just went through this carefree, didn't have any concern for consequences, didn't bother who I'd hurt. You know, in my head, it was like it was their fault. And it was their fault for keeping drugs in the house. You know, it was his fault for opening his mouth. Oh, and all that shit, justifying stuff and that. But like I say, once I did start reflecting on myself and realised, you know, I can't taking some accountability and responsibility for my own actions never came till I was 34. So, you know, you can probably imagine the type of person I was before that.
I remember you mentioned, I can't remember if it was the first or second podcast, that you got shot. And since you said that, I regretted not asking what happened in that situation.
Yeah, I got shot with a like a 2.2 bullet gun rifle. I was on a tax, and we'd got away with it. And it was a lot. It was 777 gram, you know, which was a lot like a 26-year-old kid. And there's like a lane, like a public footpath, with bollards in so you can't get the bikes down. It's a little narrow 4-foot thing. And it goes, and then there's like a cul-de-sac and it goes, must be, I don't know, quarter mile long or something. And we were shooting down this, taking off. And I just felt like someone punched us in the back. It's under my shoulder blade. Wasn't even that sore at the time. It's like, it's like someone giving you a good crack. And it was bleeding and that. So when we got back to this lad's kitchen, we were bleeding, took my top off and that, and it was like a fucking little tiny hole in, you know what I mean? And I still didn't know what went on. Then I got back to it, the lad was like telling everyone that he'd shot one of them. So I was like fucking swore everyone to secrecy, you know what I mean? I ain't got no bullet in me, you know what I mean? I don't want this coming back, they'll know it's me. I'll come out in the wash years later, but yeah, I went and got a bullet took out. It was only in, fucking...
What's
an inch or so.
NH? You take it out yourself or to NH?
I just said I got shot by some randomer in the street. Yeah.
What's on your mind after that? Is there any revenge?
Nah.
Non-planned?
Not at all, nah. I felt like a winner.
Yeah.
Yeah. Felt like a winner,
Yeah. The pros outweighed the cons then with that.
Yeah, but then what, even back then, that even in that lifestyle, that could have and should have been enough to set someone right up. You know what I mean? You're looking at some CD's paper. And I'm just like, that, yeah, you have that. Fucking didn't take long, mate. The lot was gone and my pockets were empty again. Right back in the game.
Now that you're back training, is that just out of hunger to get back in the gym, get your lifestyle sorted back on track, or have you got any fight news?
Waiting on some. I got an offer to go down to middleweight and fight for a middleweight title eliminator. It's because I was waiting on fight news and I'd only been in the gym a couple of days. This is a couple of weeks ago. I said, yeah, I'll take it. Good fight. I thought, sound, I'll take that. So I buzzed my coach up, Wayne, straight away, and he's like, you're not doing that. He's like, you're not doing that, mate. He said, look how much of a bad eat you are when you're cutting 10 pounds. He said, what, you want to cut 20 plus pounds? And he said straight, you haven't got the bones for it, you haven't got the body for it, you haven't got the legs for it anyway. He said, what was the last time you were that weight? Must have been, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago or something. He said, it's just too much of a gamble. You don't know what your punch resistance is going to be like, you don't know what your power is going to be like, what your engine's going to be like. So I said, well, I've agreed to it. He said, well, give me his number, I'll ring him up. I'll tell him you're unagreeing to it. So that's what he done, he rung up and said it wasn't happening, so... Because there's a bit of a stalemate, isn't there, at the minute, in the light heavyweight division. You've got Mike Richmond as number 1, he's retired. I know the rankings haven't been updated, but this is how they sit. You got Mundell, number 2. Well, he's staying at middleweight, he said so. So I'm number 3, so, by default, I'm like number 1. So I want Lorenzo Hunt, simple as that. I think I'll knock him out. I think I'll knock them all out. And I know all these fighters do a lot of things better than me, but I just can't help but think I'll beat them all. When it going gets tough and it gets in there, and I'll see them down the stretch, and I'll get them out of there. That's what I think. That's what I actually believe wholeheartedly. When I'm in, it's not about like that ego thing as well. Like I don't know the definition of ego, but I can imagine it's something like thinking you're better than people. Well, what's wrong with that when you're a fighter? Because anybody that's in front of me, I think I'm going to knock them out. I think I'm better than them from the off, on the run up, in the gym, at the first bell. Even if I'm 4 rounds behind, I still think I can nail him clean and get him out of there. So, that's what I think. If they're going to give us somebody else, they'll technically be below me in the rankings because of how it's turned out. I'll take anyone in the top 5. I'll take anyone. And if I think I can go all the way, what's the problem in fighting someone else in between? But it's like, I'd fight Anthony Holmes again. I'll fight David Round. But, they promised me a big fight. So I've got to wait and see what the promotion's saying. I've just seen this thing, I think it was this morning, is it Kamosi or something?
Yeah.
Is that how we
He's
met?
fighting Lorenzo.
Is that how we met?
Yeah, we met him in Dublin last...
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's made. It could be. It could well be. So if that's the case, it looks like I've been sidelined a little bit for that. But I want to keep active, man. I'm not going to stay about till the middle of next year or whatever it is till Lorenzo decides, he's going to fight us. I speak to Lorenzo a little bit in private. I actually like him. He's one of my bare knuckle heroes. I think he's got the character and that down to a T. He's like the Clubber Lang of the bare knuckle world. You know what I mean? He's a bad man. You know, and I'll take his chin clean off. You know, and I don't know how that fight will go up until that happens.
What danger does he pose?
Right hand. He's got a good right hand. I mean, he punches hard with both hands. But I don't think I've had the right opponent yet. Still, to use my brain, I find myself following these lads about, and Anthony Holmes probably, definitely the most skillful fighter I've fought. Does a lot of things better than me. But that having to follow someone round the ring, isn't really what I'm like used to. And I was a good amateur boxer. I can use my brain. I like them little come forward, aggressive little bangers. Use your brain, set them up, pull them onto punches. I'm good at that. And in my first fight with Terry Brazier, it was like a bit of a shock. That clinch game and that, and he's a very physically strong man, and I just couldn't find my jab and find my distance. It was what it was. It turned into the type of fight it turned into. But I'm improving all the time. I'm doing everything I need to be doing in the gym. I'm 3 weeks in and I feel great, and I haven't even started like proper camp yet. This was just like knocking the cobwebs off. I feel sharp, I feel strong already. And I really believe I can beat them all. At 185 pound, I'm going to catch you clean, you're going down. So, time will tell how it pans out. I want a good fight, I want a good opponent. Obviously, I'm looking for the Lorenzo Hunt fight. If I was 10 years younger, I'd be a middleweight. But, I'm not. So, it's just about waiting to see what they get back at us with. It's one of them. They can't get me anyone in the top 5. See, there's that Bulgaria show announced. I thought that's ideal. Me and Lorenzo will meet there. I've got 33 convictions. I wouldn't waste the embassy's time even seeing if I could get in there. And apparently Lorenzo can't get in this country. I don't know why. With the state of the country letting all these unvetted migrants over the border, every day of the week. They're not going to let a world champion in. But saying that, I don't know what he's been up to. I don't know what he's got on his record. So, I can't really speculate. But I feel like last time after the Anthony Holmes fight and that, I thought, something, I could walk away from this. I was toying with the idea of just saying, something that's, if I'm getting old, my shoulders and my hands are shot to bits. But now I'm like, I ain't walking away till I get that gold. If I get a bad sparking off somebody in my next fight, I maybe have to say, right, that's fair enough, if you haven't got it anymore. But I believe I can beat them all. And if it means getting some other opponent in between, then so be it. It's just one of them. It's like, it's not up to me, is it?
What have BKFC got lined up? Do you say there's a show in October?
I think there's one in 7 and a bit week at Milton Keynes.
Milton Keynes.
The card and that isn't announced yet. The one in to headline that with this middleweight bout. But listen, my coach is right. It's a lot. I couldn't be arsed with. I don't know what I'm going to be like down there. And he knows it's better than I know myself. I'm just too game for my own good. I just wanted to fight. Well, it could all end in tatters, couldn't it? I feel strong at the weight I am. I only cut, by the time fight comes round, I've only got £8 or something to cut in fight week. It's pretty easy, and I feel strong at 185. So if it's not broke, don't fix it, you know what I mean?
In the Red Corner podcast, did I want to know about this man. He did like a documentary series. There's a guy you used to just meet on a morning to spar. Who's that man?
Oh, Mad Mick.
He's fucking great. I couldn't understand what he was saying, but it fucking seemed like a boy away.
Mick, another lad I love to bits. Funny how me and Mick sort of met. This was, don't know, 3 years ago, maybe ish. Well, I was going to do one of them Spartan. I was off me nut, flat out. But I was going to do one of them Spartan pit fight things. I got an offer and that to do it. I thought sound. So I put it up and put it out there like I'm looking for nasty sparring partners. So Jimmy McCrory, another lad who I love to bits, said, I've got the perfect lad for you. He stays a little bit from you. He moved over from our way years ago. Met some lass, lived over there. He'll spar you. He said, I'm just telling you now, Danny. He says, be careful with him because he comes to fight every time. So like he wouldn't take a liberty on anyone. Ever. But like before he met me, he's like, we're going at it here. And I was like, right. So he wasn't fit and he nearly punched us out the ropes in the first round. But then he wasn't fit, so we had another round, which I probably just edged. And And he's like, that'll do a round each. I was like, nah, I'll keep going. I knew he was fucked. So, you know, I got stuck into him, but he's probably the biggest puncher I've ever shared a ring with. You know, and I've caught him clean with some cracking punches. I've had him down with body shots, but I've caught him on the chin and nearly twisted his head off. And he's just like, mustn't grumble.
So he said,
Aye.
he's a lunatic.
Or he'll shout, peach.
Yeah, I've heard him say that. I think that.
Yeah, he's one of them. But
What's going through? I know you're a tough man, but what's going through your head when you first? Is this on a morning you're doing this as well?
yeah, we used to meet at like 5 a.m.
Fucking
before
madness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Most people will never comprehend that you're just getting up at 5 a.m. for a good
Yeah.
scrap like this.
And brought us dead close. You know what I mean? I liked him initially, just how he was.
Yeah.
He's one of them, like, oi, oi. Rave music going at 5 o'clock in the morning when he pulls up. He's non-stop. He's flat out, 100%. ADHD, whatever it is, off the charts. There's something gone undiagnosed. Anyway, put it that way. But I love him. I only sparred with him for a while. I never used him in the last camper out because it was getting a bit close and
Running a risk a bit with
listen.
him.
I wouldn't recommend sparring like that to anybody. You know, you should save that stuff for your career. You're talking about you're probably costing yourself not only brain cells and maybe shaving years off your life, but you could be costing yourself your chin. You know, you get a couple of good smacks off Mickey. You know, the amount of people's teeth and that he's knocked out. He's just like one of them. He's only got one gear. He couldn't throw. I don't think he's able to throw a punch unless it's 100%. It's just like that, just like a coiled spring. But you know what you're getting with him, you know. And if you don't keep moving, you know, the gym starts to spin. So you've got to be switched on with him.
Yeah, we're meant to say that.
Yeah.
What was he saying what's he called in the red corner? I keep forgetting his
Ross.
name. What's he thinking when he's watching that 5 a.m?
Yeah, it was one of them. Listen, we've been in there before. When we first sparred, there was a Thai class on, and it was about 6:30 at night or something. And after the first round, I looked and, you know, there's 30 lads just stood still, stopped, just watching. But a better entertainment than you're getting in most fights on the telly.
Yeah.
You know what it's like when you get into gear and you're always wanting to better each other. You know, no one wants to lose a spar like that. So
Would you like to do that? Get up at 5 a.m. and just fucking have a tear down straight away?
Absolutely not.
I won't recommend it to anyone. You know what I mean?
Nah.
There's definitely there's that macho bravado element to it. You know what I mean? But we're well matched, and it is what it is. I probably due a spar with him. You know,
Has he competed in that?
Getting a bit excited just talking about it.
Does he compete? What's he do?
No, he was a good boxer in his
Good
day.
boxing in his day.
Yeah, boxed for Berkeley and a few other clubs over the northeast. Massive puncher, knocked a lot of lads out. And
What do you attribute me as a fan? What do you attribute a big puncher to? Is it bone density? Is it from hip? Is it hand size? What is it?
it's funny because there's different power. No, you get different kind of power. You get like Mickey's like a spiteful puncher, really spiteful, and I think you're born with it. You know, I don't know how else to put it. There is different types of power. You get like funny power. You see some people like, how can I use as an example? Like Big Joe Joyce, the heavyweight, the pro. You look at him punching someone, it doesn't look like there's much snap. His punches are almost pushing instead of like, and you know, but everyone that spars with him said he hits super hard. You know, and you get that sort of like, that power there, what I'm on about, where it doesn't look like you're getting it hard. I've had it in a spar. Some people just connect differently, you know, and it's just technique. They've just got that little quarter turn in, and they've just got that hip turned in behind it, and it's just technique. But ultimately, I think you're born with power. You know, you can't teach power, like you can't teach heart and you can't teach chin. You know, these are things that are, you know, given to you in your DNA. You can get a lot better in the gym and you can improve so many things, but you'll be able to improve your power, definitely to a certain degree. But like them one punch merchants like Mickey and that, you know, you're definitely born with it. That time, Mickey doesn't train. Mickey hasn't trained in years. You know, he'll just turn up and get wired into you for 2 rounds and then go home. I'm like, well, no, I know he's tired, me. I'm just like, just 2 more. You know what I mean? Try and get him back for the fucking brain cells he's cost me in the first 2 rounds.
Has he toyed, because you do it, has he toyed with bare knuckle? Or?
Yeah, he wants a crack at it.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
That was about a year ago I spoke about it. But his Mickey is listen, anyone who's ever met him is...
What accent's that? What dialect?
Geordie, innit?
Geordie.
Broad Geordie. But he likes partying and that. He's one of them. You know, I don't know if he'd be able to give himself...
That's what I sort of got from watching those documentaries, that you were trying to take him under your wing a little bit and just bring him along a bit.
Perhaps. I mean, I'd love him to he'd be one hell of a training partner. You know, it'd be mint to have him in a camp. You know, because he's just that vibrant character. It'd just be good to have around, even if he wasn't training. But he's that good, and he's got that good balance and that much power in both hands. You know, it'd just be a good person to have around in camp.
Talk me about this documentary series we've got going on. Has this been started to be filmed yet? Is it something you're gonna?
First one's out on Sunday.
Nice.
I've got it on my phone. I'll show you it afterwards. Yeah, I got some kids following us about. I say following us about, meeting up with them 2-3 times a week-ish. They've come, done my morning routine, ice baths and that, followed us doing a bit of training in the gym. I'm going to Wayne's Yard on Monday. Do a lot of mad circuits and that, and they're picking it right up. And yeah, the offer come, and I thought, you know something, that'd be good, that. So, I don't know how long it's going to go on for, 6-8 weeks or something. It'd be good to have it run up right up to a fight, you know what I mean? It'd be like the icing on the cake, wouldn't it? You know, in the whole thing, getting your hands wrapped, going in, having the fight and that. It'd be like the complete series, wouldn't it? But we'll just have to keep going. The lad's, he's good at giving us his time. I'm saying, I'll meet you here, I'll meet you there. I'm going here, I'm going there, and the lad turns up, and the you'll see in a minute, it's like top production, and that's all the best of gear. He's an editor, he does it for a living, so.
What platforms are putting this on?
Mine.
Oh, nice.
That's nice then, isn't it?
Putting it on mine, yeah.
I saw you back into YouTube full time. I saw you back on tools as well. Are you back on tools?
Yeah, I've gone back to work.
Yeah.
That was part of that. Ed fell off in the relapse thing, the sitting about.
And is that the reason why you're doing it, to sort of keep your mind occupied?
Yeah, 100%. And then listen, the money's nice as well, but I would have been all right for a little while without going back to work. Mm-hmm. But I needed that structure, that routine. I've been a working class lad all my life. I got so much money. I don't mean life, retirement money. I mean, I got like so much of an amount, and I thought, something, that'll do me. I'll take a year off. 6 months down the line or whatever, it was all cushy. And then, I just felt a bit after that fight at Leeds. Just sat about too much. Ed, listen, even when you're doing a school run, or you're keeping yourself half busy, you still find yourself on the couch, 5-6 hours a day. That's bad for me, mate, with what I suffer from. And like this addiction of mine, like it's just that cunning and that baffling and that manipulative. It's like, I suffer from something that tells me I don't suffer from anything. And it's just recipe for disaster if I don't keep on top of it. So now, back at work, bell to crack with the lads, getting good money, working as many hours as I want, and that's structured and that's something to get out of bed for. It's just good. It's working in well with it. I was there about a month thinking, can I get fit around a full-time job? Can I get to where I want to be at around a full-time job doing 10, 11-hour days? Yeah, I can. It's as simple as that.
With the influence you've got, you're doing all these documentary series and, you've got a big, strong following online. Have you ever toyed with, how do I word this, building a bit of a community and maybe coaching or putting courses out there? Or do you think that'd keep you on?
Something I want to do when I finish fighting. I want to... there's a bit where I train. I'm going to see if I can maybe rent that for a couple hours a week, see how it goes, maybe get a place of my own if it takes off. I've had a lot of interest. But, right now I'm going back to my channel in a week or so, a couple of weeks. Once I've strengthened my recovery a little bit, deepened my connection, and had that conscious contact with my higher power, you know what I mean? I've missed that, and I feel it now. I feel it back, and I've probably said to you before, the word God, people get all kinds of different feelings and thoughts about it, but it's just a higher power. I call my God God because I build a better relationship with a person than I do a power. There's no beard, there's no harp, there's no man in the clouds. It's a higher power. It's as simple as that. And you don't need to understand it. Nobody does. We all have our own idea and our own perception of what a higher power is. Doesn't matter what it is. Karma's a good one. The universe, whatever. Religion as well. A lot of people turn to religion. I'm not religious at all. I bear the cross on my channel because it's something I've always been around with my granddad, and that cross to me is what it is. I look at it, and there's that dual meaning to it. It's like good, ultimate good. That's what it reminds us of. I look at it, and it actually reminds us to do the right thing. but also it's a symbol of immense suffering as well. You know, so I don't know anybody that can't really relate to the two.
Talking about immense suffering, obviously this conversation tells us that there's constantly always a bit of a battle in your head. I feel like ayahuasca would be a really good trick for you.
Yeah, I've been recommended it. I've got to be in the right headspace for it. I've got to keep doing what I'm doing at the minute. You know, once I'm where I need to be, I'll be back on that channel. Like I said, I haven't come this far to be discouraged by myself or, you know, any of these people online that have got a lot to say. Well, listen, that's their business. YouTube's a funny place. You know, it's a funny place, and you can get your head too much into it. You know, it's like, see, now the last few weeks, especially the last month, whatever it's been, I haven't been looking at anyone's content. Feel it here, feels better. You know, like it or not, you're influenced, you know, for better, for worse, by what you see and what you hear. But I think that's with everyone. You look at people, like, they need that connection. People want to be like part of it. You know, you want to know what's going on. You want this and that. None of it means nothing. You know, when you look at the grand scale of things, none of it means nothing. No. You got a woman, you got kids, you got a house, you got a car. You know, I've got money in the bank. I've got a job. I've got direction. I've got a career with the BKFC. You know, I couldn't give a toss who likes me and who doesn't like me. I started that channel because I wanted to carry a message of recovery, and see the hundreds and hundreds of messages that I receive of people saying that, you know, I've helped them and inspired them get into recovery. I've helped them, you know, they've started boxing or training. You know, it's worth its weight in gold. You know, makes the whole journey worthwhile. But like I say, YouTube, man, it is what it is. You got all kinds of hordes and legions of people, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And like I say, it's entertainment for a lot of people. You know, I am sensitive to stuff, and even a lot more so when I'm not doing what I should be doing. But as well, you know, like, some of the characters on there, like, how can I put this?
I think a lot of it's fake.
Oh, definitely. Fake beef, fake friends, fake relationships, fake channels, fake people, fake news. But more so, like, I was speaking about this with Alice 2 nights ago. I think YouTube should have some kind of, like, vetting scheme, or they should be doing some kind of background checks. You know, you're never going to stop anyone making a channel, but let's say you want to monetize your channel. I think there should be some sort of structure in place there where there has to be a criteria, you know, that you should meet. Because, you know, you're getting people on there, convicted sex offenders. I mean, I don't want to mention any names, but there's these, like, two lads, they're apparently going to be fighting each other before long. You got one there, is like, you know, been arrested for multiple rapes, sex crimes against children, convicted sex offender, fighting another convicted rapist. You know, and, like, these people are in a position of influence, you know, spouting whatever they spout, mental health or whatever it is. You know, you're catering, or should I say, you're projecting this onto a, you know, potentially vulnerable audience. What do people do sometimes who are struggling? They go online looking for help. You know what they're going to do? They come across these people who are like, you know, it's like harm, really, disguised as help. You know, like, I mean, where do we draw the line? As a community, even, you know, as YouTube, as a community, where do we draw the line? You know, like, is that me? I'll have to wait, apologies.
It's all right, mate.
You know, but you could go on and on about it. Like, people are people that can follow and do whatever they want. You know, but in my opinion, like, if you want to support, subscribe to, or endorse convicted sex offenders, you know, then it maybe says a little about yourself. You know, like, God forgive me for what I'm about to say, you know, but to me, those types are better off in the ground. You know, I don't wish death upon anybody, but if you're going to do that sort of thing to a child or an innocent woman, you know, and ruin someone's life in that way, and that's something you perhaps get pleasure out of, you know, I think you're better off in the ground. You know, and I love watching fights. Watching fights is what I do. You know, I've watched tens of thousands of fights. But, you know, a couple of sex offenders going at it, I think I'll pass.
What do you think to all these social media, not wannabes, but, you know, like the people that you're talking about now who are meeting up and having straighteners, and it's kind of like, I know you and the person that we're talking about, the moment you met up and had that fight in Manchester, and it's propelled you onto your career and to where you are now. Do you think these people that are meeting up and doing that now are trying to just follow that same path, or do you think they're doing it as an ego thing?
I'm not sure. I mean, there could be a few reasons for it. You know, I think that what you referred to there was what it was because that's how it started. It started on social media and it ended on social media. You know, but if I had, I mean, I'm just talking about myself here. I can't speak or anything for other people, but, you know, if I had a proper chew with someone, you know, like, no one online would know about it. You know, it's like, so it's more, it could be more of like, you know, maybe like an attention thing more than anything else. You know, if I've got a proper chew with someone, no one will know about it. I'll go directly to the source, you know, if it was something serious. You know, but like I say, it's like, there's an element of probably fakeness to it. You know, it's like, if you really want to fight somebody, what you're going to do, you're going to make a video and post it online. You know, like, is that, I don't know, is that how people do it these days? You know, is that, it's not from where, it's not how it's done from where I'm from. No. You know, but there's obviously an entertainment aspect to it. People are drawn to drama, you know, and entertainment. But like I say, sometimes, you know, where do we draw the line? You know, what becomes, when does it go from being like entertainment, you know, and start becoming harmful, you know, or potentially harmful? So it's a funny one. You know, you can go deep with it. But I think for me at the minute, I just need to concentrate on my own content and not worry about what anyone else is saying. You know, they're them and me.
Have you set any new goals since you're back on your recovery now? Have you set any new goals, either social media wise?
Yeah. I'm going to do like a recovery series with the podcast. I want recovering addicts on there. I done a belter one with Paul Venice the other day. It was the first one in the series and the audio messed up.
Oh, no.
But listen.
Gives me anxiety every time. No one set it up and it's
I
like kills
spoke
you.
to Paul about it and he was like, well, because that was recovery. That's what it was. Me and him sat there talking about all things higher power. Mate, it was an hour and 40 minutes or something of just God-given conversation. And I told him about it and I was gutted, you know, and it wasn't a human error. It was like technical, you know. And he said, well, that conversation was obviously just for me and you, Danny. And I thought, perfect.
Nice.
It was, because I felt really good about it, you know. But I'm getting Billy Moore on next, you know, another person who I've got a deep connection with. So, and he's got some stories, and you know, he speaks the language of recovery, and he carries a good message, a strong message. So I'm going to get him on next. So that's where I want to be going with my channel, you know, and not. I can't respond. Listen, I'm aware there's a lot of people on there talk about me. So, you know, they can crack on. You know, it's the old, you know, I'm somebody to them. If they want to hate on me, that's fine. I'm cool with that. It's never been as much as what people are saying. It's the fact that there's like people out there who are going to cross the line the way they do and they can't be held accountable. That's what gets under my skin. You know, and I've got to separate myself from that and stop thinking about it sometimes because, listen, I've said it before, I'm troubled, I'm a fuck up, I'm a lot of things, you know, I'm a lot of things. But, you know, a coward is not one of them. And I would never breathe a word to anybody or put anything online about anybody that I wasn't willing to say to the face. But that's just me, you know, and I understand not everybody's like that. You know, and it does get under my skin a bit.
I know, changing gears one little bit, I want your opinion on the Spence and Crawford fight. I know you got up for that.
Oh, mate.
How class is Crawford?
Listen, his skills are off the Richter. And listen, I don't think Spence looked himself.
I think we're a bit drained.
Perhaps, but, you know, you can't take nothing away from Bud Crawford. He chances are he just looked like that because he was in there with Bud. His shot selection and, you know, he's got to be one of the greatest fighters of our era. You know, I don't think anyone comes close to You know, him himself, it's like his 2-3 punches ahead
He
all the
doesn't
time.
really seem to get out of like. He seems to have more gears as well. He never seems to show it.
And he can bang. But it's like that first round, and he was just, I don't think he threw a punch. And you just seen his eyes, you just could see it in his eyes. He was just like computing. He was just computing, you know what I mean? Just trying to find that rhythm. You know, and it's like his feet found the beat in the first round. And that round 2 onwards, it was fucking
Is
one-sided.
he 40 as well?
Yeah.
So he's still doing it at that level at that
Yeah.
age.
Yeah. I thought that fight was going to go 12 rounds. I thought it was going to be a
Ref saved him a bit and all.
hard
Didn't he?
fight to
I think
call.
it was a good stoppage.
100%, 110%. He wasn't going to come back from that. You know, I don't want to say he was spent, you know, with his energy. He maybe had a bit left, but he could have been another round away from being seriously hurt. You know, he was just starting to. He was getting better and better as the fight went on, bud. And you know, I don't think he threw a punch really what missed in them last couple of rounds. And he was just sort of pot-shotting him at will. Had him all over the place. Definitely a good stoppage.
Any other fights that got you excited? I'm not, yeah, have you followed any Jake Paul, Nate Diaz stuff or not?
yeah,
You're invested in that?
Yeah.
Good man.
Yes.
Who wins that?
I'm going Diaz.
He's a big Jake Paul fan, him, mate.
Yeah.
Come on.
Listen, Jake Paul can bang, and I think Jake Paul's got the power on him. But just the durability of you know, of Nate, and the scar tissue might be an issue. But just the engine and the work rate, and just like the dog in him and the gangster in him, you know, I think you'll see him down the stretch. You know, I think he might grind him down. And you watch Nate Diaz throw on any punches, never sits down on any of them. He throws it 50, 60%. It's just volume.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it might just frustrate the life out of him. But
You're going to get up for that one?
yeah, I'm going to get it on my bird's phone and watch tonight. I'm shooting over to Liverpool after this. I'm going to ring that S-Dog from
What? As
Bradford.
in Shamir Khan. Shamir Khan.
That they call him, yeah. Asian kid, does the rapping and that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he's making a song about us and that.
What good? Like in a good way or a diss?
Yeah. I'm on to him, I speak to him.
Oh, you're his mate.
Yeah.
I think
so
you'll
he's-
do a diss against him. Come on,
That's
mate.
what I'm confused.
Fuck's
No,
sake.
but, no, but when he's like, I'm heading over to this place to see him, I'm like, oh,
I'm going for
shit.
chew.
Oh, could happen.
Nah, he spoke to us, he said, look, can I write you a song and that?
What is an MC? So I understand what's going
Yeah,
on.
you know when we train at Formula, it's the Asian guy who trains in the gym. I pointed
Yeah,
out.
watch all his stuff and that on Insta and that. He's a cool kid. And he said he's going to knock us some song up and that. So I'm going to get in touch with him, see if I can fly over him, see him for an hour. And then I'm going over to Liverpool, staying at Liverpool tonight with my lass because we've got them BKFC tryouts in the
I
morning.
saw that.
What's the deal with that?
Well, I think they're doing it because, you know, they've had a couple of fights on the BKFC, which I feel, and they feel, you know, didn't belong.
Yeah.
You know, they've had some people on there, you know, God bless them, you know, they're on there and they're trying.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's that much of a big platform and it's in, 70 odd countries, and I think they get 1 million views, 1 million watches, you know, on every show. That's serious numbers. And I don't think they want to, you know, be having fights like that on anymore. So, but they still obviously want to give people opportunities. So I know one kid that's going down that's mustard is a couple of times ABA champion. He hasn't done it for a while. So we'll see how he gets on. But I think it's going to be good. It's going to be exciting. As far as I know, they're going to like beast him in a load of circuits and that, and then put him in for a spar when they're tired. And it's like, I think what they're looking for is your breaking point. You know, skills pay the bills, and it's obviously good to have some kind of fighting background. But as they say, before you fight in the BKFC, when they're giving you that talk, they're like, look, you know, we don't want winners. We're not here to, you know, to suck up the arse of winners. We want warriors, and that's what we're looking for. So that's, I think, what the idea of it is, to, you know, to wean out a couple of good lads. I think there's a couple of contracts on the line for the best lads there. They don't have to give any out, you know, but there's potentially 2 contracts up. And like, I think that's what the BKFC is all about. Some of my favourite fighters on there, you know, they've got like 50-50 records. And it's, you know, it's, are you going to keep fighting through a broken nose? You know, are you going to keep fighting when there's blood going into both eyes? You know, that's what they're looking for. That's what they want.
Now you've explained it that way, it makes more sense, because when I saw the poster for it, I was like, are they just making everybody fight each other and then whoever knocks fuck out of someone and gets the
Nah.
contract or.
They're looking for lads. That's what they're looking for. Looking for lads that aren't going to quit.
Yeah,
You
I
what
know it's the last show. I think probably, let's say there were 10 fights, 8 out of them 10 fights finished in first round or 7 out of
Yeah.
them. So what's his name we were speaking to in Sauna? The ISKA.
Harris, Paul, is it? Paul Harris?
He's got something to do with ISKA. He's like one of the officiators, and he was like saying, oh yeah, we had a lot of reports from the last BKFC saying there were a lot of disappointment from not poor matchmaking, but probably last minute dropouts and people having to jump in and stuff. So it does make sense to try and find some good fighters who are going to put quality fights on.
Absolutely. You know, and I think it's difficult for the promotion as well, especially on this side of the pond when it's just taken off. You know, you get a lot of these people, you know, they want to do it. The sound of it sounds good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Big platform, bare knuckle fighter. But, you know, they haven't been tested. And I think, you know, to come in off the street with, you know, a karate trophy, you know, you're going to get hurt. You know, you're going to get found out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what they're looking for. You know, they don't want to put fights on like that anymore. Understandably, with the size of the platform, the traction that it's gaining, you know, they want to put good fights on. And, you know, I don't think it's going to be too long, maybe a couple of years' time or something. I think it's probably going to be one of the biggest platforms on earth, you know, as far as combat sports go.
I want to get your opinion quickly before we let you go. When Perry fought Rockhold, that's a prime example of that, isn't it? Just a different...
Exactly.
I thought Rockhold were going to do him there, and it just didn't pan out that way at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, going off Luke Rockhold's last couple of fights and that, it didn't, you know, he'd been chinned a few times. You know, incredible talent, incredible, you know, career, if you like, middleweight champion and all the skills in the world. But, you know, it's one of them. You know, he got a couple of smacks in the mouth and, you know, and he quit on his feet. Mm-hmm. You know, like, listen, Luke Rockhold's made more money and done more stuff, you know, with his career than I'll ever do. You know, but it just left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth looking at it, you know, thinking you got someone there who's probably paid a ridiculous amount of money. You know, he's had his tooth cracked and, you know, he wanted to go home to his mummy. You know, like, it's just not... I just didn't think he belonged in there, you know, and even at that level with the profile he's got, you know, probably best off staying away from it, you know, and he'd probably admit that himself. Mm. I watched a post-fight interview with him when he was with his cracked tooth and that, and I thought, you know something, mate, fair play. I'm not sure he was entirely aware, you know, of what he was getting himself in for. Mm. It's a whole different world in there. I've been punched with gloves all my life, and it's mad because when you react, for me anyway, if you're in a situation and you get into a fight and it happens there and then, you've got no build-up, you've got no training camp, you know, and I've always done all right that way. But you get cracked in the street and it's like, yeah, obviously it hurts. When you're going in against these good lads who've trained most of their life, you know what I mean, and they're having 8-week training camp with the sole thing, you know, to take your face off, and they've got bare knuckles on, it's you know, it can be a harrowing experience for you if you're not mentally prepared and physically prepared. You know, and I think that was maybe the case with Luke Rockhold, you know, but it's just a different world, that bare knuckle, man. It's
yeah, Mike Perry's a dangerous fighter as well at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, I'd love a fight with him.
I think he's born for bare knuckle. I'd love to see the two fight. Did anything ever come of it? Because I know we were talking about it last time, didn't we? And
I was chasing him with something, you know, something, and my head's telling me, like, go on, wind him up, cross the line.
Yeah.
My head's telling me, go on, cross the line with him, get a bite out of him. But listen, it's not that. I had an offer to do that off some American woman that's like big in American media. And it was after the Teddy Brazier fight, she got in touch and said, look, I can train you in media. The loudest people get the most money in that. And just an interest is, you know, going outside my own character to make a fight, insulting somebody and crossing the line, you know what I mean? But, you know, if Mike Perry's watching this, you know, I'll lay you flat, you know, and that's how it is, you know. But I ain't got the profile really, you know, for a Mike Perry. And I'm a fan, you know, I'm a Mike Perry fan, but he's no different to any of the others, you know what I mean? You put him in front of us, you know, and I'll solely believe I can knock him out.
I know you like you said earlier on this podcast, you back yourself no matter what. It's good to have ego when you're fighting. And I'm not talking about you, by the way, because I back you, and I know for a fact you believe you can beat a lot of people.
Yeah.
Do you see these fighters like, not even a fighter. Do you know Bradley Martin? He's got a podcast.
No.
He's more of an influencer. He owns gyms and stuff, but he's been getting people like, he had Nate Diaz on the podcast, he had Brendan Sharp on.
Yeah.
Devon
Haney, who's
Is he a
obviously
Yank?
Yeah. And whenever he speaks to these fighters, he's like, but do you think, he's like 265 pounds, he's like, do you think you could beat me to Devon Haney who's 150? You seen him?
Seen the kid.
So I feel I can't tell if that's ego or if he's just doing it to like sort of get clicks, or if
Yeah.
he's genuinely deluded, if he thinks he can beat these people.
Yeah.
The Devin Haney one's like that because if he gets hold of him, I do
Yeah.
understand, but he's got to get hold of him.
Yeah,
first.
Joe Rogan breaks it down on one of his own podcasts. He says if someone that big and strong grabs you, they're going to hit you with the floor. They're going to smash you. So if he does grab Devin Haney, but I feel like a boxer who's so slick and can move and stay out of the way wouldn't even be able to get grabbed by someone like Bradley Martin.
Yeah, I've had this conversation before. It's not on that specific individual, but you know, like I still think. I mean, boxing for me is where it's at, where my heart is. But like I'm under no illusion. Like, you know, if you're on the street, somebody with even good basics in jiu-jitsu and wrestling, going up against someone who has none, whether they're a boxer or not, you know, the boxer's going to be in real trouble, real quick as well. You know, I've done a few basics in jiu-jitsu and wrestling about 6-7 years ago. And that, for as low level as it was, just basics, you know, always stood me in good stead on the street. Because, you know, immediately, once you you know, you lock horns and you're up close, you just know immediately, you know, that they don't know what they're doing. You know, just that little understanding of basics, you know, weight distribution, where to have what hand, what leg, you know, it becomes very easy. Never mind somebody with like extensive training, you know, they're going to be ripping your arms off and that before long. Mm-hmm. Even though boxing's where it's at for me, you know, I still think on the street like that, you know, you got no chance against these people. And
especially with Bradley Martin, he's got no fighting experience whatsoever. He's
Right.
done basic jiu-jitsu, probably no boxing, but he still thinks because he's 265 pounds that he can beat these people.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely delusion.
Yeah.
And Jake Paul's put an offer out there to Bradley Martin and said, listen, I'll give you 7 figures if you fight Mike Perry in a street fight, which he's obviously going to turn down because there's no way he's going to beat Mike Perry. But it is what it is.
Give me 6 figures.
Yes.
Yeah. Fight Mike Perry in the morning.
Yeah.
But listen, fair play to this, what's he called?
Bradley Martin.
Fair play to him, you know, and I think that's what a lot of it's about now on social media. You know, if you make enough noise, if you ruffle enough feathers, before you know it, there's going to be a few quid coming your way. So, you know, so fair play to him. You know, and fair play to anyone that can get themselves in that position, you know, to earn good money, you know, whether they're ready or whether they can fight or whether they can't. You know what I mean? If you're going to blag or talk your way into a position where something like that's going to happen to you, fair play to him.
Total switch around here, but I saw you just recently posted a podcast with Tommy Robinson.
Yeah.
I ain't had a chance to watch that yet.
The one I done with Tommy?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I flew over to Spain and I speak to Tommy a bit. Tommy's cushy.
Yeah.
He's got his own podcast now over there.
Oh, yeah.
On the run.
Oh, shit.
In some smart villa and that over there. You know, he's got a good life over there, you know, apart from the fact he's away from his family and that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was decent, you know, good crack, always good talking to him and that. It's that, a bit like with you lads, you know, there's that level of comfortability, you know, you can, you don't mind talking about whatever. You just
How long did you speak to Tommy for?
On the podcast?
Yeah.
I think it was about an hour and a half or something.
I had to nap for about 4 days after me.
Yeah.
Fucking head was just fried. He's
Yeah.
got that much
Yeah.
fucking knowledge in his
Yeah.
head and understanding of complex issues that I have no gauge of at all.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, fuck.
Well, he's got that like, he's like self-educated on so many things. Yeah. Got a massive, you know, knowledge on Christianity, Islam, politics, you know, the man's a wealth of knowledge, like, but see, I don't go down them avenues with him because I'm green.
Yeah.
I don't know about any of that stuff, you know, so I can't speak that lingo with him, you know, but we talk about life and that all day.
Talking about Islam, did you see the Tates have just been freed? They're no longer under house arrest.
Listen, I think Andrew Tate's the man.
Yeah.
You know, simple as that. I think he's the man. And, you know, it's right in what he's saying. I've touched on it a little bit with Tommy, actually, that, like, you know, masculine men, man, it's like they're getting demonised. It's like there's something wrong with being a masculine man. That doesn't mean, you know, fighting at the taxi rank. You know, you don't have to throw a punch in your life to be a masculine man. You know what I mean? It's about, you know, providing and protecting and doing the right thing, you know, and finding some peace and whatever sides of you that are dangerous or that you don't like, you know, keeping them at bay, you know, trying to work on yourself and doing the right thing. To me, that's masculine, man. And what's wrong with that? Mm-hmm. We need more of these people. Testosterone levels are at an all-time low. You've got this woke, you know, it's like, can't even take it seriously. The world's becoming a strange place.
It's the feminist people that are getting on me at the moment because I watched a video the other day of a Muslim guy speaking, and a woman says like, "Oh, why do you think that you've got authority over women?" And he's like, as a Muslim man, we don't think we've got authority over women. We just think that naturally we have a place to provide and protect, like you just said then, for women. And then he's like, if you went and had a coffee shop meeting and it started getting a bit dark and late and you had no charge on your phone, would you panic about walking home on your own? And she's like, yeah. And he's like, well, a man wouldn't. A man would just be able to do it. And why wouldn't you? And she's like, for in case anything happened, in case a man did something to you. So naturally, men are a threat to you, but they can also protect you. If a guy comes up to a girl in a club and starts hitting on her, she says, whether she has or not, I've got a boyfriend, and that'll scare him away.
Yeah.
So he's like saying men are naturally there to protect, and it's not because we want to have authority over it. It's just naturally there.
Of course,
but
it
all
is.
these feminists are there, like asking for equality and stuff like that. Like he made a point: if we changed it and all men and women were equal, women would be at severe danger. You'd be getting murdered and raped and pillaged. Like, men are there for that reason, and the government are trying to stop that now and trying to, like you say, demasculinize men. For what reason?
Well, look at what they've done in Scandinavia and that, when they provided equal rights for employment across the board. And anyone could choose what they wanted to do ever. There wasn't male and female jobs. And Jordan Peterson speaks about it a lot. It panned itself out anyway. Women went into predominantly women, filled jobs, nursing,
Teaching.
Men went into engineering, construction. It filtered itself how it always would anyway. And I think touching on that, what you said about, I watch some of these feminine things, I can't help but laugh. You know what I mean? I'm not calling anything or whatever, but I do find a lot of it funny. I have to laugh. I just have to, or I'll cry because of the way it's going. But like you say, it's like Andrew Tate made a brilliant point and continues to make it, like, right, what about, all right then, when the shit hits the fan? When the shit hits the fan, and I don't know, you could think of 100 ways the shit would hit the fan. Let's say it's getting really violent somewhere, or you're in some conflict zone, or there's a war going off, or I don't know, there's someone in trouble. When these feminist types are in severe danger, they're going to want men then, and they're going to want the most masculine of men. It's as simple as that. So it's a bit contradictory, really. It's like we all have our roles. I'm not against anything, but you've got to look at it logically. The way it is, the way it's been, the way it's always worked. You've got a natural role. It's not. This woke thing fucking grinds my gears, man.
He makes a point when he's talking to that interview, and he says, if men break in this house now, when there's other men in this room, including me, it's like if a man breaks into this house now and comes to attack you, all of us, including me, would naturally protect you, whether I like you or not, because I'm a man and you're a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's, like you just say, the woke thing. I feel like the fucking government put these things into people's heads and just go, LGBTQ, do what you need to do. Feminist, do whatever you got to do. And it's just like making everyone collide, and it's just like...
Of course it is. Just creating more division.
Sectioning everybody, that's
more division. Yeah.
Probably a way to distract you from actually what's going on, because if you pull the traditional values out of it and men get given a voice...
Yeah.
And, able men are like, get time, because you're locked into a working life and just busy.
Yeah.
You never really get time to, we say sit in silence and actually digest what the fuck is going on.
Yeah.
And if you knew what was going on, probably you'd be fucking very, very upset.
Absolutely.
So it's easy to give rise to these movements, which in the grand scheme of things, probably for the percentage of population who are LGB, whatever it might be, it's very, very small.
Yeah.
So to me, the question to ask there is why a social media, they can say what they want, but in terms of mainstream media, why are they giving that such a big voice?
Yeah.
And I know for a fact you won't have watched the Barbie film, have you?
No.
The most woke.
you?
No.
Gonna say.
But I've read the reviews from it from people who I respect, and it's the most woke thing ever. It's a female world, isn't it? And
Right.
and I'm quite traditional with my missus. She don't work. I look after her.
Yeah.
By the traditional role set up.
Fair play.
I like that.
Yeah.
But the Barbie film's basically putting that to bed. My missus has
Yeah.
gone in a little pink dress to watch it and watching it, and I'm like, yeah, by all means go to work and make the money if you want, but it ain't gonna probably happen. It gives rise to this sort of.
Yeah.
Men have built. I know this. I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because I want to close it off. But men have built everything you look at.
Yeah.
Roads, infrastructure, everything that you see in
know,
society is built by men.
100%. But like you say, to finish on this, if I got myself involved with that, my head'd fall off. You know what I mean? I've got a decent awareness of what's actually going on, the direction it's actually going in, but I don't want to get involved with it. I've got my own life, my own kids, and I want to try and make the best of here and now. But if we did have a whole country full of masculine men standing up for what they believed in, for what was right, their traditional values been taken away, the government would have a lot of trouble on its hands, and that's why I think this demasculation of men, could be occurring. They don't want men that's going to stand up, and go against what's right, because they're pulling the rug out from underneath you without you even noticing, and they're blinding you with all this LGBTQ and everything else that's on the news and that. It's probably just a big smoke screen for what's actually going on, but listen, it is what it is, isn't it?
We could speak for hours about
this.
Listen,
it's the world we live in, innit? I think for me, and likely for most people, I think the best thing we can just do is focus on the things that we have control over, and until there's some mass uprising and everyone's doing something, maybe something to concern ourselves with them. But until then, I'm me, they're them, she's her, he's him, just let them be.
I just want to say it's refreshing to have a fucking real conversation, man. When you talk, I listen, so...
Thank you, bro. Am I the third person? Am I the only person to be on here three times?
We did have an OnlyFans model, so...
Right.
Wait a minute. Why, when you talk about OnlyFans models...
Yeah, but I like to see DC deserve the attribute first.
100%. I much prefer these conversations.
He hates it when I bring up OnlyFans. Right?
DC can be the first fifth, right? But... You like the... It's funny because when these OnlyFans girls come on, he's like, yeah, let's get them on. And then after, he's like, oh, bro, I didn't like that. That conversation didn't go my way. And then it's me, then it's... Because I'm the OnlyFans guy. But these conversations...
What, you got an OnlyFans or something?
I've got an OnlyFans, yeah. But so that I'm in a connection of OnlyFans people. So like when we're getting these OnlyFans girls on and stuff, it's like...
We put a stop to that now.
We're not
doing no more.
This is why I asked at the start of the conversation, like, what road do you think we should go down? And the quality conversations,
talking
and
about
learning stuff,
gunging each other and bean baths and fucking hell, mate.
What do you get up to? All kinds of shit in that?
I mean, before I settled my girlfriend down, I was like, I was doing.
Tell him the fucking truth. Tell him the truth. What you do.
Well, I do everything really. But before I settled my girlfriend down, I was doing quite a bit of shagging and stuff on it. But now I've got my girlfriend, I've toned it down a little bit.
Yeah, good lad. Good lad. Yeah, we'll leave that for now then.
Again, mate, thank you very much for coming on, Dan.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, boys.
Really even start? I got hoes that I'm keeping in the dark. I got my niggas cross the street living large. Thinking back to